Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of After the Movie. We're here actually on a Tuesday. I got advance passes to go see Justice League straight from WB, which is awesome, by the way. So it's a free screening. It's a Tuesday. We're seeing it before anybody else gets to see it. So we're going into this. I'm going in with an open mind. I hope it's really good. I love the Justice League. I'm a huge fan. As far as the other DCU movies go, I like Man of Steel. I actually really enjoyed Man of Steel, especially Michael Shannon and how crazy he is as General Zod.
Yeah, I hope he's in this movie.
Yeah, I just want Michael Shannon to come back and just scream and yell, "Cow!" Ah, just beat the shit out of someone.
And yell at Batman.
And just yell at Batman. That'd be great. Batman vs Superman, which is kind of like, I mean, I never hated it like a lot of people did, but it is kind of like there's things. There's the good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
It had some good parts.
It had some good parts. The good outweighs the bad for me with that movie, and Suicide Squad is the one like. The more I see it, the more
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was okay.
It was okay. Like I said, I've seen some really shitty movies, so I'm like, when people.
Yeah, I don't think those were as awful as they were making out to be, but they weren't. They could have been better.
Yeah,
I think that was the biggest problem why people hated them, is that they could have been something like Suicide Squad could have been something special, and Batman vs Superman could have been really, really cool.
Yeah, if it wasn't a movie about like, but then again, like it's Batman and Superman, like they're two of the most famous superheroes of all time. That's the first time ever on the big screen. That's the movie we got. It should have been a lot better.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, and Wonder Woman was really good too. I mean, so I'm going into this movie with an open mind. I hope it's really good. What we're gonna do is when we go to the theater, next time you'll see us, which will be like a few seconds. We're gonna do like a spoiler-free section, then we're gonna cut the video, and then we're gonna get into full-blown spoilers, and then it'll be basically like it'll all be one video, but we'll have like a completely spoiler section, so you go in so you can hear our thoughts, and then that way we can just spoil the shit out of everything. So, yep, let's head into the theater right now. I've never gone to one of these advanced screenings like this, so I guess you're supposed to get there super early. So we're here like 2 hours before the movie. So let's see what happens and let you know what we think about it after the movie. All right, we just got out of Justice League. Well, I shouldn't say just got out. We drove all the way back to Marlon's house, and we got some food. Because we got there 2 hours early, didn't really eat anything because we were just like, oh shit, we don't want to like not get seats. So we got in there, we waited.
Turns out our seats were reserved, so...
Yeah, it turns out they were reserved, advanced screenings, you learn, because since we haven't done those before, they're pretty good seats, and yeah, you probably don't give a shit, you're just wondering like, okay, what do you think of the movie? I really enjoyed Justice League. I had a really good time with it. We're going to do this section spoiler-free, by the way. No spoilers, except for like the plot synopsis that has been released, and basically what's all based on the trailers. Won't get into anything major, and then we're gonna just, we're gonna cut the video at one point, and then we're gonna get into some serious spoilers because there's a lot of shit I want to talk about. All right, grab your McDonald's. So, anyways, Justice League. So, for those of you who don't know, the plot of this movie is after the events of Batman vs Superman, the world's, in mourning after Superman died, which I still don't think was the best decision to do in BVS to kill him off in the second movie. But, it's basically like, it's just some plot device to get Batman to recruit the Justice League along with Wonder Woman. So, they're recruiting the Justice League because there's a threat coming to Earth. The threat of Steppenwolf. Basically, who's in the comic books is Darkseid's uncle, he's his general, and basically his bitch. That's who Steppenwolf is. He's a bitch to Darkseid, he's a bitch villain, and honestly, I'm not too familiar with him. I mean, I love Darkseid, he's one of my all-time favorite villains. Probably my favorite DC villain, if you add it up. You got your Jokers, you got, Lex Luthor, you got your Slade Wilson, you got the Reverse Flash, classic villains like that. Gorilla Grodd I really love. But yeah, Darkseid, in terms of cosmic beings, he is my favorite in the DC universe. He's menacing, he's intimidating, he's just a scary fucking dude. But anyways, so Steppenwolf's trying to get these mother boxes, he's to, basically, take over Earth. And it's up to Batman and the rest of the Justice League to stop them. So, that's in essence the brief plot line. And, let's talk about the teammates. What did you think of Justice League?
It was good. I liked it a lot.
I could clearly tell.
Well, it was good. I enjoyed it. I think it took a little bit to get going.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of... It just took a minute. I mean,
I love the impact felt though.
I think they kind of released
after
I think
Superman died.
some of the fun stuff, but there was a lot of fun stuff they didn't release, and it's really fun. It's a really good movie. Like I said, the opening, like the first act, takes a minute to get going.
Because there's so many characters they gotta like introduce, and because they haven't been in other movies. Well, I mean, technically they have been, but this is definitely like one of those things where they have to like kind of bring everyone together. Batman's recruiting Aquaman, Wonder Woman's recruiting Cyborg, Batman's recruiting the Flash, and Flash is on board, as you know in the trailers, like right away. But some of the other characters, not so much from the get-go. And he's got to bring them together. The team's great though. I think the team dynamic is really special. I think the standouts though for me were the Flash and Aquaman. I mean, Batman's always going to be a standout. So like, I'm representing Batman right now. He's my favorite. And Wonder Woman's great. She's coming off her movie that just came out, and that movie was very well received by fans and critics alike. And they're building momentum. This movie kind of feels like an episode of like the Justice League TV show.
Yeah,
it definitely has that vibe.
It's definitely a step in the right direction.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, if you're a fan of these characters, I think good diehard fans will definitely enjoy the movie. I mean, you'll be seeing things that you've always wanted to see. Just seeing all the characters on screen and just seeing their like camaraderie with each other. It reminded me like the first time I saw Avengers, like just seeing everyone come together, and it was like a really special moment. You definitely have that same feeling when you go see the Justice League. All of them like come together, working, trying to stop the bad guy. Which, speaking of the bad guy, Steppenwolf, like I said, he's not a very popular villain. And I guess in this movie they definitely show a reason why. He's definitely the weak point of this movie for me. He's just a bad guy. There's like nothing else to him. Like you don't really like. He doesn't leave an impact. I mean, as divisive as Batman vs Superman was, at least you can talk about Lex Luthor and all his craziness. But with Steppenwolf, he wields an axe. I know him based on like my history and familiarity with like the comic books, like who he is like in relation to Darkseid and stuff. But like in terms of this movie, you're gonna leave the movie just being like, oh, he was just kind of a bad guy, and really he's not. I mean, he's the main villain in the movie, but he's like I said, he's a general. He's doing all this for Darkseid. So
yeah, he's the bad guy in the movie. That's really all he is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was kind of weird. He was a weird character, but I wouldn't say he was a really bad villain. He's just sort of bad.
Yeah, he's just a bad guy. He's
just an evil man.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any like cool like. I mean, let's go to the other movies. Like General Zod had a lot of like Michael Shannon was so intense in that movie. I just love every scene he's in because you're just like, I will find him.
Yeah, his character had motivation as the villain when. I don't know. This guy was just
like
sort of,
he's just like
he really wasn't much of a villain. He was just sort of a bad guy.
Yeah, he's doing all that. He almost seems like he's doing this under duress because he's just like my exile. He's trying to unite the mother boxes.
Yeah, there's kind of a story to him, but not much.
Yeah, but like I do like the mythology that they showcased.
So, like I said, the opening act, it takes a minute to like. There's scenes that take place on Wonder Woman's island. There's scenes that involve Cyborg. There's scenes that involve
the Flash.
Aquaman, and I think I wanted a little bit. I was more interested in Aquaman and Flash than. Wonder Woman just got a film out of it.
So, like, I mean, she's pretty established. Batman is Batman. We all know about
Cyborg.
him.
Cyborg, they did well with. They made his character a little bit.
He's kind of like
more, trying to figure out,
who he is.
And,
he's kind of like
the
main. I wouldn't say he's the main character. He's the one who definitely goes through the most like development in the movie. Kind of just like from where he starts to where he ends up. Like it definitely feels like Cyborg is kind of like the heart and soul of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. He was really good. Yeah, the movie was fun.
Yeah, I know.
But it was also serious at times too. Everybody had good chemistry amongst the team.
Mm-hmm. There's jokes, people, but like
there's not really much more you could say about it other than it was really good. It kind of felt like an Avengers movie, honestly, because I kind of felt like I've seen this before, but with these new characters. So, yeah, they got it right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to see another one, but bigger and better.
yeah, exactly. And there's definitely like
Because they could definitely make another one like this,
but like
in like Dark Knight, Terminator 2. Just make it bigger and better, and with a really good story.
because this is bringing the team together. So
I don't want Avengers and Avengers 2 where it's almost the same. As Avengers 2 was so similar to Avengers 1, but they could definitely do this again, just bigger and better, and they totally can do that. And I think maybe that's what's going to be with Darkseid. They're going to bring in him, and then and it'll be bigger and better. So
we don't want to get into spoilers just yet. Based on one of the there's I will say this though before you go, stay through the whole credits. There is a mid-credit scene which is great, and then there's a post-credit scene which I pretty much came in the middle of the theater, and same with several other people at the same time. It was like spontaneous combustion.
I don't see what the big deal was. I was like, okay, great.
Well, for me, because I know what's involved, but like that could potentially be something as in like a Justice League 2, and then you can get into like, I don't want to say, it'll kind of give it away. You can get into something else for Justice League 3 if they do it. But overall, I definitely had a good time with Justice League. I'm going to be seeing it again this week, and probably another time after that. But to really let it sink in and settle in some more. But I definitely think that fans of these
I feel like
characters...
it'll be more enjoyable on a second viewing too, because there's some probably stuff you miss. So
yeah, and I know they had to do like reshoots and like re-editing some things with the movie, because originally I think it was just gonna be Justice League, because like after Batman vs Superman came out, they had to like do a lot of reworking and change ups and a lot of things, because originally this was supposed to be Justice League Part 1, and they were gonna do a Justice League Part 2. Now they made this kind of just like standalone, and they didn't really box themselves into corners to where they can just kind of go off and do, everyone can go off and do their own things. So that's kind of like the gist of it. Which next year we got the Aquaman movie, which comes out in December. Which it kind of sucks that that's the only movie we're getting next year. But with Jason Momoa in this movie, like Jason Momoa was awesome. Like definitely people. I know there's a lot of people on the front who've been Aquaman's kind of been the brunt of jokes, but this Aquaman definitely.
Yeah, he was really cool. He was really cool.
Aquaman might have been the most interesting person in the movie, because you're just like, oh, I want to learn more about him. But we're getting this movie next year, which we'll find out all about that. We get brief tastes of Atlantis, not too much. There's maybe like a scene or two there, but it definitely feels like there was more Aquaman, but they kind of cut it. Which from what I've heard, there was some more scenes that were cut from the movie. Like there's supposed to be scenes with like Iris West, and then there's supposed to be like Willem Dafoe was cast in the movie, but he doesn't appear in it. But he's gonna be an Aquaman, so I think was more Atlantean stuff. But they I guess from what I heard, like WB mandated this movie be under 2 hours, which that's kind of thing with this movie too. I mean, the villain isn't great. He's kind of just there. He's like, whatever. I mean, but then again, that's kind of just the same thing with pretty much all comic book movie villains nowadays. They're just kind of just there, and it's kind of just a bummer that we don't get great comic book villains. The last one I really liked was General Zod in Man of Steel, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, and I guess I really liked Michael Keaton a lot in Spider-Man: Homecoming this past year. Like, I mean, he was intense, but don't need to bring up Spider-Man: Homecoming, but Michael Keaton was really good. So I guess but I still prefer like Zod as a villain as opposed to the Vulture. But both were pretty good. So, but like I said, like it hasn't been like too many great comic book villains in a while. So hopefully things start to change. Like I said, Steppenwolf is just he's just fodder really for the team before they get into some real serious threats with like Darkseid and stuff down the line, I'm sure. So yeah, but I don't want to like talk about it too much more because I really want to get into some spoilers here. So we're gonna cut the video here. But overall, go check out the movie, and then when you're done, you can come back, watch the rest of this. We're getting into like all sorts of spoilers, including what happens in regards with Superman in the movie, what happens with the post and mid-credit scenes, and just some more nitty-gritty stuff. So yeah, check out the movie and then come back and watch this, or if you don't care, just continue from here. Ready, set, go. And hey everybody, welcome to the spoiler section of the video. Let's just get into some shit. Superman is resurrected via the Mother Box. Superman comes back, and when he comes back, he initially doesn't know who he is. He's kind of really pissed off, and it's great, because we just get to see this pissed off Superman beating the shit out of the Justice League. And My favorite scene involving Superman. Well, when he first is resurrected and he comes back and he grabs a hold of Batman, carries him up into the sky. He's like, "You won't let me live. You won't let me die." And then he gets right in his face, and he's like, "Tell me, do you bleed?" Which is, a callback to Batman vs Superman. The whole audience was just laughing, just going nuts over it. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, hearing Superman say that was great. But then, as you remember, in Batman vs Superman, where the Flash is like, "It's Lois Lane, she's the key." So, Bruce Wayne brings in Lois Lane, and in essence, Superman kind of recognizes her, and then takes him some time to get his memory back. He, meets Martha Kent too, and she's happy to see him. And you definitely feel like in this movie, the world really missed Superman. There were scenes that I think this could have been some of the reshoot stuff, because for those of you who don't know, there was something really controversial with the Henry Cavill's mustache. And basically, he was filming Justice League, and he was filming Mission Impossible 6, and they had to do some reshoots for Justice League, so they had to digitally remove his mustache. And there's at points in the movie where you can tell, things just seem a bit off with his face. It's that uncanny valley type deal. And it is kind of weird and bizarre, but you know what? I'm willing to accept it for the fact that Superman is back. You know what I mean? The classic Superman is back. The Boy Scout is back, is what I'm trying to say. And it's great. What do you think of that? Are you happy to see the Boy Scout back?
Yeah, everything was really great with that. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the movie for a spoiler standpoint.
But
Trying to think about up until that point when
there is a bit of the '89 Batman theme and John Williams theme in there too.
Yeah, just the big spoiler is they bring Superman back to life with the cube
box
thing, and yeah, I mean they do that, and it felt kind of weird because I was like, what is this, Frankenstein? They're seriously gonna bring him back?
When he came back, he sounded like Bizarro. He was Bizarro Superman almost. He was just like.
I'm surprised he didn't even decay at all. I don't know. They just brought him back.
But then again, Zod didn't decay, so.
I mean, they brought him back to life, and that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was good because he was trying to remember who he was and who everybody is, and yeah, his senses are coming back, so he's seeing people, through them and X-ray vision, all that kind of shit. And then Cyborg goes into defense mode by accident,
and it causes the scene where he just kind of.
So then they all fight, and it was a good scene to.
It was cool to
Like I
see.
said, it felt like something out of the Avengers when they fight, and then Batman shows up after the fact. Then Superman gets pretty mad, and Wonder Woman tries to save Batman, but then he winds up getting Batman anyway. Grabs by the jaw, and that's when he, says his line, and then so that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think
Batman goes down, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely bleeding," and then which was good because I think Batman vs Superman, I gave Superman a lot of crap too. So
yeah, it was definitely one of those things. You can definitely feel more like Batman. I do in this movie, Batman feels guilty. That's kind of his thing. He's trying to rebirth and become a more hopeful Batman. Even at the end of the movie,
Superman even says yeah, because I owe him one. Well, Batman did bring him back to life. Batman didn't kill him. Batman was going to kill him. Doomsday killed him, but then Batman brought him back, which was a pretty big risk. Mm-hmm. So that was good.
I think the best moment in the movie, my favorite scene was Superman, where he was he comes back to fight Steppenwolf. You don't get to see him where he suits up or anything, but you see him behind him. He's Steppenwolf's beating the shit out of someone. I think it was Cyborg or Flash or something. He's just he brings up. He's I stand for truth and for justice, and then he punches him right in the face, and it's great. Steppenwolf just gets his ass handed to him, and you know what? I like seeing the league.
Yeah, by Superman.
By Superman, and
Superman
he comes back, and Superman, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's having a good time, he's cheerful, he's the Boy Scout. I'm oh my god.
Yeah, it's exactly the Superman that we all know and love, which
it's kind of neat to see where he started out. I guess that's part of his arc is in From Man of Steel. He starts out.
Yeah, he had to die to come back and be happy.
Yeah, and he was I like being alive, and seeing him interact with the team. That's great.
Well, he made a joke about it too, which was funny. After they get hurt, he and Cyborg, and then that's when Superman says, "Yeah, I think I'd rather be dead." So
Mhm.
that was funny.
As far as like other metas in that, there is a Green Lantern in the movie. We don't know which one it is because it's part of like the flashbacks scene, like where they're on
The Amazonians and
they're
the
on Themyscira, and they have the Atlanteans in that too. And you do see a Green Lantern ring, and everyone just goes nuts over like, oh my god. So they did have a Green Lantern in there, and I think that was a cool moment where everyone kind of
pretty sure that one got killed.
yeah, that one got killed.
Yeah,
The
he's
ring
an
went
alien
off
or
elsewhere.
something, and then the ring kind of spins around and flies away.
But it was cool
So
to
we
see
know
the
what that
ring,
means.
like, because I didn't expect to see it in that scene. But there is a Green Lantern. It not necessarily one of the teammates, but there is a Green Lantern there, which for fans know, like it's universe building stuff. And even at one point, Steppenwolf says, "I do this for Darkseid," and everyone's just like in the theater because it's mostly just diehard fans who know who Darkseid is. Darkseid though, like I think there's more people familiar with Darkseid than there were Thanos. Like at this point, like with the first Justice League versus the first Avengers movie, because Darkseid's had plenty of exposure in animation. Like he was in Superman the animated series, he was in Justice League, and also that moment where Superman punches Steppenwolf when he comes back. That reminded me a lot of that Justice League Unlimited. Like it was like the final episode or something like that, where Superman Darkseid is just like
The
beating up Batman, and then Superman gets
thing
behind him and
about
punches
the
him.
bad guy wasn't really all that scary
Oh, he wasn't intimidating.
because I
at
remember
all.
in Batman vs Superman they had that painting, upside down with the angels and the demons, and
Mhm. I thought those were going to be Thanagarians, and they were going to show up.
I thought it was going to be pretty scary, like whatever they had in mind, but they really wasn't scary. So,
Mhm.
so the threat in this movie isn't really that. I would say that the Apocalypse Now Batman or whatever it was in Batman vs Superman,
Mhm.
what I'm talking about, I thought that was a tad bit scarier than.
Yeah, Superman was scarier than fucking Steppenwolf. Like Steppenwolf is not an intimidating bad guy. Like,
no,
at
he's
all.
just
He's
bad.
just there. He's just like, I gotta get this. He doesn't leave. I don't know. Just like he was just really lacking a good antagonist. But like it was really a movie about bringing the team together. Which you know what, I complain about villains even with like Marvel too. Like villains have just in comic movies have kind of sucked for a while. Just haven't had a really good one in a while. I mean, the best one this year was definitely Michael Keaton, who gets the MVP for villain. But then again, it's Michael Keaton. So, but like Steppenwolf is like I think Kieran Hines played him, and he was just kind of there. He has a cool voice, and he has a cool battle axe, and then he just wrecks stuff. But like you didn't like even like when they did the flashback scene, it was like it felt kind of rushed. Like you didn't really feel like the imposingness of Steppenwolf because he was still getting his ass kicked back then. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when like even with Superman didn't even seem to really struggle. I mean, Wonder Woman and Aquaman kind of struggled a bit fighting him, but Superman kind of just kicked his ass pretty easily. And there's other things I love too. I love the Flash. Like there was like an automatic like buddiness between the Flash and Superman, which was great to see. It felt like I was seeing like it was great to see. Like Superman, like he was definitely saving people. He was happy. He was uplifting, which I know a lot of people have criticized beforehand with some of these movies with how like sad and depressed Superman seems to be. Like there's a funny scene where the Flash is saves his family, and then Superman and him are just like Superman notices like he's like in line with the Flash because they can see and talk at like similar speeds. I mean obviously the Flash is faster because he can tap into the Speed Force, but Superman like with his vision in that he can see things at Flash's level.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool to see. Like one of the best scenes is when Superman comes back and he's kind of like pissed off everyone. Like Barry Allen's like moving and Superman just like gives him the look like he sees him, and then Barry Allen's like, oh my god, this is gonna suck. But Barry's still faster than Superman. Anyways, there's a scene where they're saving people and they're like at Chernobyl or something like that, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like Flash saves a car, and then he looks over and he's like, "I got one." And you see Superman carrying an entire building full of people, just awful. Like, oh, that's great and touching. I'm like, it also feels like a completely different Superman. Like, I mean, it is supposed to represent like the rebirth of the true Superman that was like dies and resurrected, but it was nice. It just felt good to see like the Boy Scout again.
yeah, they should have been doing this from the get go.
But in a way, it's almost more rewarding that we had to sit through like, somewhat mopey Superman in like BVS to like get to the good stuff. Like, because now it's just like, okay,
Took forever.
it does feel like it took 4 years to get to the Boy Scout. So, because it's almost like a trilogy of like Superman movies, even though they're not really Superman movies. He's like, the first one's a Superman movie, and then he has to share, and he's like 50%, and then he's in like 33% of like this one. It's kind of like he gets, you know,
less screen time.
less screen time in each movie, but by the end, like, you'll just be happy to see like Superman and the League standing together, and everyone's just united, and it's great to see. And then the end of the movie, like, everyone kind of goes their separate ways. Aquaman is doing his thing, you know, swim through oceans, you know, hanging out with whales and stuff. Barry Allen's got his, he's going to Central City. He's going to be part of the CSI thing, because I know they're going to do like a Flashpoint movie.
Yeah, he saves his dad. From
Well,
jail.
his dad's still in jail, so he's going to solve that.
Yeah.
'Cause
He you know, shows him, you know, what he's up to there. He got a real job. It's good. And then
Diana was out in the limelight, you know, saving people. The kids were happy. The lasso of truth there, which factors into a pretty funny scene with Aquaman, where he's just explaining everything. Like, boy, Aquaman is really opening up, and it's like you see that he was actually sitting on the lasso the whole time. That was pretty funny.
yeah, that was good.
I love Aquaman in this movie.
What else could we spoil, I guess, from
Oh,
it?
so yeah, and then Bruce Wayne goes to Wayne Manor, and it seems like he's going to rebuild it, and
I think that's gonna be
get,
the Hall of Justice.
until they get like the Watchtower or, you know, an even better Hall of Justice. But like, it looks like he's going to start to
Because
rebuild.
he says he's like tables,
Yeah,
chairs.
he's going to have the League stay at his house.
Well, she
and
said
that-
6 chairs, and then I think someone said maybe more.
Yeah, maybe
So-
more. So that was cool. And then that's pretty much the movie ends with Superman. He
Round
does.
table.
Yep, and then Superman.
God damn, do you want to remind me of
What?
King Arthur?
God damn it! Don't bring that up in this. I'm thinking good, happy thoughts. But anyways,
No, King Arthur.
shut up. Anyways, at the end of this movie, Superman, he does the classic thing.
Yeah, he
'cause
takes
the
the
cans
glasses off, and
and
then
then
he turns toward the camera, and
and he did this, and I'm like, oh, that's good.
everybody, yeah, and he has the trench coat, classic Superman.
But here's the thing, though. Like, does everyone just like accept that Clark Kent's back? We don't figure out what's going on.
I don't know.
there.
They're gonna cut. There maybe he
Because you don't really figure out, because Bruce Wayne had bought, because the Kent farm had went into foreclosure. Everything's kind of sad and mopey in the beginning, but not like as depressing as like say BVS. Martha Kent, like the farm is closed, so like Clark gets the house back in that, and Bruce Wayne, and he's just like, how'd you do this? He's like, how'd you deal with the bank? He's like, oh, I bought the bank. He was like, you bought the entire bank? He's like, oh yeah, it was just chump change or something like that. So like that was pretty cool. Like, and it was like cool to see Batman and Superman kind of just be bros for a bit. I wanted them to be in a diner drinking coffee together though.
yeah, they didn't really do that. They just sort of walked inside of Clark Kent's house.
And then the movie basically ends with Superman doing this thing, and then
Jonathan Kent wouldn't be very happy with Bruce Wayne for bringing him back to life. So
yeah, Jonathan Kent was kind of a dick in these movies. Let's be real. Like, he was just like, let them die, Clark. I mean, he was 50-50 because he had like moments of inspiration, and then he had the moment where he's like, maybe you should let him die. I don't know, but like he was better in BVS, like when he has like scene on top of a mountain, he just shows up. But whatever, let's not talk BVS. I'm here to talk Justice League. Anyways,
the credit scene.
the credit scene. Let's go through both of them. So we have the mid-credit scene, which is just Superman and the Flash racing, and that was pretty. It was like
They don't actually race. What they talk about racing. They're ready to race, and they talk
then they
about
just
it.
kind of like,
And then they sort of start, and then the film just sort of stops. And
yeah, it felt like,
Then we have all the credits, and then we get to the final credit scene, which
is my favorite.
starts
Basically,
off in Arkham Asylum. They talk about Lex Luthor.
and he's just
They
like,
open the door, and you think it's him, and it winds up being some imposter, and the guy laughs. And then we were on this yacht.
yep, and then Lex Luthor is on it, and someone else is on it.
Well, the
And
first shot is,
from behind, and it's Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke.
yeah, you could tell it's him, and everybody was pretty excited. And they get
Me,
to the
I'm just
yacht,
like, whoa.
get to the yacht, and then Lex Luthor is actually Lex Luthor, kind of.
Yeah, he's like
He's bald, he's got his
bald. He's
suit
got
on.
the all black suit. He doesn't have his like hipster.
He's hanging out with a
stuff.
couple of hooers.
He's there. Yeah, he's got a bunch of girls with him too, and he's just like, he calls Slade Wilson. He's like, I think we need to form a league of our own or something like that. And then
He's
basically
they
like
have their league. Why can't we have a league of our own? And
And I'm
Slade's
like,
all like, I don't know.
yes.
He just stands there and says
Legion of
something.
Doom. Legion of Doom sounds amazing. I think that's what it's gonna be with Justice League 2. I think we're gonna get like
In Justice League?
in Justice League or the Legion of Doom. I would love for the Legion of Doom to be the bad guys against the Justice League. I mean, what? Save Darkseid for a little bit later.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom, where they can hang out in the swamp.
I hope so. Hey, they're on a yacht. They're on water.
That's good enough.
If they get the Legion of Doom headquarters, I will go nuts. But it'll be cool to see just kind of like a team of supervillains. Because we haven't had like a team of superheroes versus a team of supervillains. And like, I mean,
They've never done that, have they?
we haven't done that yet. I'm trying to think of
It's been
anything.
one big bad guy, and
I mean, we had
Thanos is going to do that for
because like
Avengers.
the Avengers,
One big bad guy.
the Avengers, it was just Loki and his army. Age of Ultron was Ultron, his robot army.
Do it like the Injustice for all episode. From Justice League.
Avengers Infinity War is just gonna be Thanos.
Have the Joker just show up and crash the party.
Yeah.
With Harley.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We don't have like a team of supervillains.
Watch what they're going to do. They're going to get Suicide Squad 2 right, and then they're going to do something at the end of the credits and tease the Legion of Doom movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or Injustice League, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. This is definitely a step in the right
They're
direction.
definitely making it fun.
And I like not totally like joke every single minute.
No, they
time their jokes out.
It's got good timing.
Yeah, I mean it's not like this movie isn't like.
I think I liked it more than Avengers, because I felt like they joke around a little too much. But there's not a whole lot of action in this. I mean, there's a lot of action, but it's not action packed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's not. It's definitely restrained a lot. I mean, especially a lot.
They did good. They did good. They did good.
Some of the pacing could have been a little better, but then again, they're trying to like this into like under 2 hours, and some things felt rushed, and the villain was kind of lacking. But other than that, if you love these heroes, I think you're gonna have a really good time with it.
Yeah, I can't sit there and say as a DC person, well, they really screwed this all up.
Because no, all the characters focus. Although like Cyborg, I kind of like. I'm a fan of Teen Titans, which you are too.
Yeah, that's kind of my. That's
why
why
I
I wasn't.
like how
That's
I
why
like
I wasn't
Cyborg.
too crazy about this Cyborg, but I feel like we didn't get enough of him. So we'll.
And by the end of the movie, his armor kind of evolves. More
Yeah,
too.
and I think he even
he's evolving.
talks.
A little
He
bit
talks a little bit more when he's lying on the ground with Superman. So
yeah, he's like, I can't feel my toes. And I'm like, I don't even have toes. It's just like something there. And Superman and him are laughing about it. And like the climax too. The climax is not too bad. It's cool to see the team, but like, I don't think they're gonna top the epicness that was the Man of Steel climax.
well, we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe when
at least in this
maybe
movie.
when Superman and Darkseid fight, it'll be really, 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 really epic, and it'll be really, really cool.
And even the musical score, like there's some good music moments, but like, it's kind of like for the epic scenes, it's kind of needs that Hans Zimmer boost to really give it that extra edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll. I'm glad they toned it back with the action a bit.
Yeah, I know. I am too. And in other instances, I'm like, I just love that final battle in Man of Steel so much.
I think they're gonna probably keep it low key until something big actually happens.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Because that was kind of like a big event, in the storyline. So they'll probably do something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, DC's got a couple movies lined up. Next, we're only getting one movie next year, and that's at the very end of the year, which is Aquaman. And then 2019, we're getting Shazam. And then we're getting Wonder Woman 2. And I think maybe 2020 would be a Suicide Squad 2. Or maybe Suicide Squad 2 will come out 2019 as well. They got a lot of movies lined up.
Didn't they announce everything already?
Yeah, so the movies that they have they're for sure coming out in 2019 are Wonder Woman 2 and Shazam. I think they have Suicide Squad 2 possibly coming out then. The Flash movie's coming out by 2020 at least, and the solo Batman movie, which I know a lot of people are like, is Affleck leaving? Is he not leaving? I don't know, but like at this point, I'm kind of just like, I mean, Affleck is great as Batman, but I almost wish they would have had someone who's just like more keen to stay on, or maybe this could just be him just throwing stuff out there so he can get a bigger deal, because that's kind of what Matt Reeves did for the Batman. So like, because Matt Reeves just finished like his 8th trilogy, and now he's going into doing the Batman, and like he had some negotiating tactics, like things fell through and that, and you just use that so you get more money. So I think Affleck might be doing the same thing. I don't see him leaving the role after this movie. I think he's got maybe a few more in him, maybe like 3 movies left, and then he'd be done. Because, we got the Nightwing movie also coming out. There's a lot of movies they're working on. There's a Black Adam movie. There's Gotham City Sirens, which is Harley, Ivy, Catwoman, and there's a Batgirl movie that Joss Whedon's making, because Joss Whedon worked on this movie, and you could tell a lot of the Whedonisms are in there. It still felt like a Zack Snyder movie, but with Whedonisms in there, and yeah, that kind of works. And
Yeah, maybe it should be co-directed. Maybe that'd be a good idea.
you know what I do? I just have Whedon.
Have the two of them just work on these big movies.
Yeah, I'd have Whedon.
And Snyder like collaborate.
I just have Snyder just do the action scenes, and then and like all the scenes that like visually need to be told, just some of the cool shots, but like the dialogue scenes just let Whedon handle that and let Snyder handle the cool visuals. So like that would be a pretty awesome team. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else to say. So yeah, DC's got a lot of movies lined up. But yeah, this has been a really solid year for comic book
Yeah, they
movies.
got a lot of stuff. Shazam.
Green Lantern Corps. There's a Cyborg movie apparently out there.
There'll be another Suicide Squad at some point.
Yeah, I know they got the guy who made like.
Apparently last week they've already talked about it. So
Yeah, the guy who made The Accountant and Warriors directing Suicide Squad 2. I remember there's Mel Gibson was in the running to direct it. I can only imagine what his Suicide Squad 2 would be like. I hope and a Deathstroke movie. Can't forget that. So, but yeah, Slade Wilson is.
I would like to see another Suicide Squad film.
Yeah, but like one that has more focus, one that has a better villain and plot. Because like the Suicide Squad movie, like there's elements of it I liked, but like I think the better Suicide Squad movie is honestly Assault on Arkham.
I think the theatrical cut was probably better than the extended, just because some of the extended scenes.
The only extended scene, which could have been in there, was the Joker and Harley scene, and there's so much of
She's
that.
on the motorcycle. That's stupid.
Yeah, but we get scene where she shoots someone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Joker felt butchered in that movie. He didn't even need to be in there. He should only have been in there for like the flashback scenes, and that's it.
It was terrible.
Yeah. But
Well, not that movie, but Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like it just feels weird, like Batman vs Superman, and it almost kind of makes up for it, and you kind of almost want to go back and rewatch Batman vs Superman.
yeah, to see things because like they do bring up some of the faults of that movie, with like Batman and where he was at, where Wonder Woman was at. I do like the scene where Batman just like calls out Diana. He's just like, funny. I've heard of Superman coming out and doing stuff, but what about you, lady? Oh, he really gets on her case. He even brings up like, he says something about Steve Trevor, and she just flat out like pushes him back, and everyone here's like, oh, and Aquaman and they were just like, oh, whatever. And Flash is just like, Flash is a kid in a candy store in this movie. Just like he's just having the time of his life. He's like, oh, look at how cool this is.
Great character.
No, the Flash is like the Flash the TV show. So he's basically a combination of like the comic book Barry Allen with like the Wally West personality. So it's kind of like the two molded together. Because I'm sure they'll do like the new 52 Wally West instead of like pre-52 Wally West. Because like pre-52 Wally West is the Wally West with the red hair. He's basically like the personality of Barry Allen like right now. So, and you don't want two of the same. It wouldn't make sense to have two of them be like the exact same character. So, yeah. And then you got a Green Lantern movie called Cyborg. I don't know. They got so many movies in development. The thing I want to see more than anything is the entire Bat family. I really want to see Nightwing, Red Hood.
I don't know if they're going to do that. Is there going to be a Batman movie coming out?
Yeah, Matt Reeves is making the Soul Batman, but I don't know what that's going to be about. I want Tim Drake, and I really, really, really want Damian Wayne in one of these movies. Like, I really, really do. I think it'd be great. The Flash movie's also Flash.
There's a lot of shit they'd have to set up for Batman.
Yeah, but you know what the beauty is? They have a magic reset button and tweaking button that they can do. It's called Flashpoint. They can just change everything and readapt things the way they want, and yeah, you can do that. So
yeah, we'll have to see what happens after 2019 when Avengers 2 comes out. Because isn't that it for Avengers and all that shit?
Yeah, the Marvel Cinematic next year we have Infinity War Part 1, which comes out May next year, which I'm really looking forward to because it's been like a 10-year build-up. And then there's the Part 2, which comes out in 2019. And I think that's it's not the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they still have like Spider-Man and stuff and like Guardians 3, which I wish they wouldn't announce these things because now we know which characters are surviving that. But, I mean, it's kind of like, it kills the suspense. So I mean, I'm just gonna kind of wait and see what's coming out. So, oh yeah, we also got Black Panther as the next comic book movie, but that's not till February. So yeah, this is the end of comic book movies for the year. What do you think of this year in comic book movies? Which one? Because like the first one was Lego Batman, really good. Logan, which was really good.
I didn't see Logan.
You didn't see Logan? You'd really love Logan. It's like this hard R, gritty, like in your face movie. Logan, I actually like Logan more than this movie, and same with Lego Batman. But and then we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I thought was fine. Um, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's passable, but I don't think it was as good as the first Guardians. But still fine. Nothing terrible or anything like that. Then it was Wonder Woman, which I really liked. And then Thor Ragnarok, which I had a great time at, and then this one. So yeah, it's basically like we had a perfect streak of solid comic book movies this year that were in theaters. Oh yeah, we also saw Batman Harley Quinn, but that's more like a one night Fathom event things, and I still enjoyed that one too. So yeah, like in terms of big mainstream wide release comic book movies, we've had a pretty perfect year. So, which means that 2018 is going to be a shithole because everything was positive. There's no bad ones that I saw.
Yeah.
So.
I still like DC more than Marvel, so I'm still rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, I want both to be good. So, because I like both. I've been more of a fan of DC Comics than Marvel Comics, like my whole life, pretty much. But I still enjoy Marvel. I mean, you can like both. You know what I mean?
This town ain't big enough for two of us.
Shut up. You know what? I also
You're
like
right.
Dark Horse.
I'm right. You know I'm right.
Shut up.
This town isn't big enough.
We need
Star
both.
Wars, DC, Marvel. Two of them need to go.
You know what?
Star Wars is going to come out in time. You know it.
Star Wars will end up
Always comes out in
Star
time.
Wars always does. I'm kind of Star Wars out. Like Star Wars, they're gonna run into the ground, and they already kind of are. Like they got episode. I mean, it's been like years.
They're gonna make another set of 3.
Yeah, because
They're gonna make. Is a TV show? Is it gonna be animated like Rebels, or is it gonna be with actual people? It's probably gonna be animated if it's a TV show.
I don't know what they're doing with Star Wars. To tell you the truth, Star Wars it's just gonna go.
It's all around you.
It's too much. I mean, Star Wars. Star Wars felt more special when they just had the 3 and 3 or whatever, because they're doing the sequel trilogy. I mean, Star Wars felt like an event. I mean, like Force Awakens, I didn't particularly care for too much because it's the same exact movie as A New Hope. But at the same time, it did feel like an event. Now then they had Rogue One, which I liked more, mostly due to director Krennic. And then now they have Episode 8. Then we got the Han Solo movie. Then we got Episode 9. Then we got like a whole trilogy of other Star Wars movies. And they got a Jabba the Hutt movie. Boba Fett movies and that coming out. We're gonna get Chewbacca. We're gonna get a movie based on a tree in the background of
Jabba the Hutt.
Return of the Jedi or something like that. Like we're gonna have a Wookiee movie. We're gonna have a Yoda movie. We're gonna have an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. It's just gonna go on and on forever. And you know what? I mean, it's got an expansive universe, but I just like the fact that Star Wars.
I told you, this town's not big enough for the 3 of us.
I just liked how the fact that Star Wars had.
It's gonna be like the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's gonna be a showdown.
What about the Dark Universe with Tom Cruise? That folded already.
It's never happening.
Yeah, shared universes are kind of gonna dwindle, and it's. I mean, there's also the. What shared universe do we have? We have the DC universe. We got the Marvel universe. Well, I mean, Star Wars is kind of like I wouldn't really. I mean, because it's all Star Wars, but yeah, I guess you could say that. The Conjuring universe. The Dark Universe, which is going to fold, and the Monsterverse.
The Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe. Like, that was the most egotistical thing. Oh, we already got our logo in front of it. We don't even... The Mummy was shit. It just fucking...
I mean, if the Justice League can come back from the shit that they were... I mean, Batman vs. Superman was... A lot of people hated that movie, and Suicide Squad made things even worse.
But it still made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but you know what? What did
Wonder Woman?
What did Mummy make?
Mummy made like $400 million.
And how much did it cost to make?
Like 150.
Yeah, they'll keep making.
Or 120, and then like they had like $100 million marketing. So like they either broke even or just made back or like had a small loss.
They're not gonna stop. They'll try to get in on it too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, next big movie that comes out is I think Is it Star Wars the next big event movie? Because Justice League is this, and then
Star Wars.
Star
Next
Wars.
month.
Next month, Star Wars. Oh boy, I can't wait. You know, I'm kind of bummed that I'm not like excited for Star Wars like I used to be. I don't know what it is. I mean, I liked Rogue One, but I'm not. It doesn't feel special anymore to me. I like the fact that it was just like the trilogy, and then I mean, the prequels aren't very good, but like it did feel special seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters. Now, like, I mean, movies are fine. It's like they definitely feel. What's the word I'm looking for? Like manufactured.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
could say that.
you could say that. It's just not what it used to be to me. But anyways, I think we've rambled on enough. Is there anything else you want to bring up about Justice League?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, how long is this part? Man, we have been going on and on. It's like 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. This is going to be a long video. But anyways, that's all we have to say about that. Thanks for joining us for the spoiler section. I might as well just make this 2 videos. Turn off your phone.
I have a phone call coming in.
Alright, we're going to cut it right here. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.